Hello my dear friends, today I've got the Technics AZ100 earbuds with me. I still remember testing the Technics AZ80 back in December 2023 and honestly I was really impressed. But I have to say, the Technics AZ100 might have impressed me even more. But I will talk about that later on in the video. First of all, I really want to give a big thank you to Piotr, one of this channel's viewers, who was kind enough to lend me his personal pairs of AZ100 and AZ80 for testing. Thanks to him, I was able to prepare this review for you. Let's start from the beginning, the design of the case and the earbuds themselves. The AZ100 case is smaller than the one from AZ80, which I think is a good change. Just like before, the top lid is covered in aluminum. It feels premium. On the other hand, I wish the magnets holding the earbuds inside were a bit stronger. They don't fall out even when you tilt and shake the case, but it still doesn't leave the best impression. What really stands out is the new earbud design. They are smaller now, and that makes a big difference when it comes to how they fit in the ear. The weight's also been reduced from 7 grams to 5.9 grams. When I was using AZ80, they didn't sit very safely in my ears, especially the left one, which I keep having to adjust, and that was even more annoying during workouts. But the AZ100s, much better fit. Not comfortable as the AZ60s for me, but a clear improvement over the AZ80s. Even while running, they stayed in place, although I have to adjust them a bit here and there. In comparison, my Denon Pair Pro sit in my ears like concrete, zero movement. Also, Technics reduced the number of included ear tips from 7 to 5, probably because the new design fits better out of the box. In terms of water resistance, we still have IPX4, which is totally fine for rain or sweat, because these aren't really aimed at sports. And now for the battery life. It's up to 10 hours with ANC on and 28 hours total with the case, but that's with the AAC codec. Usage will vary depending on how you use them and settings. If you use LDAC, the battery life will decrease slightly. I didn't focus on it that much because I never listened to music that long, but once I used them for 4 hours with ANC on max, volume around 80% and LDAC on. And I still had probably about 35% battery left, which I think is a great result. It's also worth noting that the case supports wireless charging. And now let's talk about the app. Right at the top of the app, you can see which codec you are using. Right from the start, LDAC isn't enabled by default, so make sure to turn that on if you want it. The AZ100 also supports Bluetooth LE audio, which lets you stream higher quality audio while saving battery. You also get spatial audio with head tracking and Dolby Atmos support. It's a good news. The app itself is quite good. What you see when you enter the app at the very beginning is the battery indicators from both buds and the case, ANC and transparency controls, sound settings, and the voice focused AI test. I will talk about that later in this video. You can connect to up to 3 devices with multi-point, which is awesome, but keep in mind you can't use LDAC when connected to 3 devices. I usually use them either solo or paired with my PC. One thing I missed was a physical pairing button on the case. Pairing by holding down the touch panels of the both earbuds works well, but is not the most comfortable. As expected, you can use one earbud while the other is in the case, and the music stops automatically when you remove the earbud from your ear. Basic stuff, but good to have. And now for the controls. With the AZ80, you couldn't assign volume control to tap and hold gesture. Now you can with the AZ100. Touch controls are responsive, but you need to be pretty precise when you taps. Bluetooth version is still 5.3, same as the AZ80, but the connection quality is solid. I had zero issues. And now The microphone quality definitely improved over the AZ80, especially during phone calls. The new voice focus AI does a really good job reducing background noise, but don't take my word for it. See for yourself.
No, hello.
How do you hear me? Now I'm staying outside. There is a very strong wind condition and the construction is next to me. So tell me, do you hear something in the background?
I don't hear anything in the background.
And my voice is clear?
Your voice is very not good quality.
Not good quality. Okay. So I'm changing the phone, the headphones now. Okay. Hello?
Hello.
Okay, the another one headphones, same conditions, but AZ100. And now, do you think? What do you think now?
This one voice quality is much better than this one.
Much better?
You are much more clear. But so far, nothing comparable to classic earphone.
But these conditions are very difficult because the wind is blowing very strong and there is construction. So there is a lot of big machines working around. Okay.
I don't hear any voice background, only you.
Okay, but my voice is better on these headphones. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Bye. Okay, now you can see the conditions when I'm here now. There is a construction there and there is also a strong wind blowing from that side. And time for ANC and transparency mode. The big upgrade in the AZ100 is the adaptive ANC, and it works really well. It adjusts to your surroundings to block out noise in real time. But in strong wind, really strong, I preferred switching to manual max ANC, which I felt worked better in that specific situation. Is the ANC better than in the AZ80? Slightly yes, but not dramatically. Both handle mid-range noise well, like engines or noise from air conditioning, but high-frequency stuff like beeps or horns can still be heard. And heavy construction noise, like for example jackhammers, you will still hear that. The transparency mode is decent too. You can adjust how much sound comes through, although once you get above 80%, the background hiss gets a bit too much for me. I preferred using it around 80%, which still let voices through clearly without being annoying. Voices sound natural, no robot effects. In my opinion, is decent. And now, sound quality. Let me start by saying both AZ80 and AZ100 sound great. I want to be clear about that. But when you switch from the AZ80 to AZ100, you can hear the difference right away. Both have 10mm drivers, but the AZ100 uses a magnetic fluid driver. The AZ100 offers a wider soundstage and more detail. I remember listening to Take You Home, Dido, first on the AZ80 and then on the AZ100, and it felt like someone opened a door and let more air in after switching to AZ100. Bass feels stronger and more present in AZ100, but without overpowering the mids and highs. If you wear that velvet dress, you too, around 1 minute and 20 seconds, there is something like heartbeat like thump that's way more pronounced on the AZ100. Then the deep bass from Clayton comes in, it's just more impactful here in AZ100. The mids on the AZ100 are slightly pulled back, especially in the upper mids, which are important for guitars and vocals. So on rock tracks like Rock and Roll Led Zeppelin, AZ80s are more aggressive, while the AZ100s sound more elegant, more refined. Same with vocals. I actually prefer the AZ80s here. For example, in the Cross of Changes by Enigma, Sandra's whisper echoes beautifully on the AZ80. On the AZ100 is a little more subdued. The highs on the AZ100 are open, but not harsh. A great test track is a 2-wiki by Hooverphonic live with orchestra. Those treble details really shine. If the default tuning doesn't suit you, the apps has presets like Bass Plus, Super Bass Plus or Dynamic, which I use most often on the AZ80. On the AZ100, I didn't feel the need to change anything. There is also an 8-band EQ, but be aware, it slightly changes the sound profile when you activate it. In terms of volume, the AZ100 are a bit louder than the AZ80, but not by much. A lot of people in the comment on my Polish channel ask about Denon Per Pro. I wasn't planning to compare them directly, since Denon's strength is it is personalized sound, which is totally unique for each user. But if I had to say, my Denons are kind of sweet spot between AZ80 and AZ100. Their soundstage is also very wide, but they retain the raw energy that works well for rock music. Denons are more aggressive, AZ100 are more refined. The bass in the AZ100 is different. It surrounds you, but it doesn't cover other tones. On Denons, it's tighter, punchier, hits when needed. I also prefer vocals on the Denons. They feel more up front. So, would I switch from the Denon Per Pro to AZ100 based only on sound? No. But if I didn't already have the Denons and I was choosing between AZ80 and AZ100, I will go with the AZ100. And now question, do I recommend the AZ100? Yes, I do. There is a clear upgrade over the AZ80 in terms of comfort, battery life, call quality and most importantly, sound. They've got solid ANC and a good transparency mode. They are not exactly cheap. Almost €300 isn't a small amount, but from what I can tell, the AZ100 didn't launch at a higher price than the AZ80s, at least in Poland, and that's definitely a plus. And for that price, you're getting some of the best sound quality I've personally even heard in true wireless earbuds. Of course, I haven't tried every part of there, but honestly, this is a very high level. Let me know what you think down in the comments. That's all for me. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.